My name is Bradley Butler. I am the Executive Director and Curator here at Main Street Arts in Clifton Springs, New York. Thank you for joining us for this walkthrough and award announcement event for Adrift, which is a national juried exhibition featuring 36 artists from 10 different states. The themes of artwork included in the show address the notion of being completely lost and or completely free. And this show is juried by Steffi Chappell, who is the assistant curator at the Everson Museum of Art in Syracuse, New York. In her work there, she focuses on exhibitions featuring modern and contemporary American artists, writes and edits content for the museum's blog, leads education programs, highlighting works in the Everson's permanent collection. And she also received a Bachelor of Arts from St. Lawrence University and a dual Master's of Arts from Syracuse University in Art History and Museum Studies. Steffi, would you like to talk a little bit about being our juror?
Sure, thank you. And thank you for having me. I was so excited to be asked to be a juror for this exhibition. This was a crazy year for everyone, I think, and some more so than others. But artists have so skillfully captured, I think, what we all have been feeling. And that is, for me, the beauty of art. It really helps us express our emotions, and artists do that for us. For those of us that don't make art or can't make art for whatever reason, I think artists really take that responsibility on themselves, and they help us express our emotions when we're not able to. So I was really excited to be asked to juror the show because I think it was very, very timely, and the theme that artists submitted their work around, again, really, I think helps us process this wild year that we've all just gone through.
All right, great. Well, thanks, Steffi. And we'll, I think, get right into the award announcements. So I'm going to switch over to the other device here so we can look at the work you're talking about. And we have 7 awards to give out today. There are 4 honorable mentions, 2 Jurors' Choice Awards, and then a Best in Show. So I think we'll start with honorable mentions, go to Jurors' Choice, and then to Best in Show. So I'm just going to spotlight this here. And then whenever you're ready.
All right, so we will start with the honorable mentions, and the first one goes to Lori Drake of Knoxville, Tennessee. And her work's titled Infinite Arches. It's a digital photograph. And what really struck me about this work was the beauty of the endless arches as they begin in the foreground and then they just repeat endlessly into the background of the space. It's excellently composed, and I imagine standing in that space physically, but also looking at the photograph really gives you that kind of adrift feeling. So the second honorable mention goes to Gina Massaro of Canandaigua, New York. And this work is Untitled. It's an oil and graphite on canvas. And I loved how Gina used abstraction here to convey such a turmoil of emotions, from maybe a more peaceful quality to just an absolute chaotic scene. And the way she built up the materials, I think really particularly helped convey that emotion. The third honorable mention goes to Lynn Szymanski of Rollinsford, New Hampshire for Drift number 1. This is a basswood and mahogany sculpture. And the quiet beauty of this sculpture is really what grabbed me, and how monumental it feels despite its smaller size. Then the fourth honorable mention goes to Yen Ha of New York, New York for Sea Swirls, which is an acrylic pen and ink drawing on paper. And the way the artist used the delicate line work to really build up the scene which feels both chaotic but also peaceful, I think is what drew me into this drawing. So those are our 4 honorable mentions. Now we will move into Juror's Choice. The first Juror's Choice Award goes to Monique Belitz of Cuesta, New Mexico, and that is for the work titled Anchorage Unknown, and that's a mixed media piece. And I was really struck by the materiality of this work and the way the artist used her materials to really build up the scene and create this composition that was full of layers. And then the second Juror's Choice Award goes to Ronald Gonzalez of Johnson City, New York, for this work titled Empty Pants, made of cloth and wax. And I truly loved with this one how such a small and seemingly simple work could convey so much. The passage of time, how things can wear and tear on you if they're bombarding you repeatedly. Just the amount of emotion in this piece for being such a small size really grabbed me. And then finally, our best in show. And this goes to Jay Lee from Brooklyn, New York, for the painting Echoes of Silence 12, which is a watercolor on paper. And I felt that this painting truly captured the turbulent emotions and feelings of being adrift. And these are emotions that so many of us felt over the past year and we're still continuing to feel today. It's chaotic and it's turbulent. It does have moments of tranquility and peacefulness, I think, in there. But ultimately, just this feeling of being so adrift in our lives. I think the artist really captured that beautifully. And it's also technically and beautifully executed.
Well, we're going to try and mitigate this feedback here. Well, thank you, Steffi, for that. One moment here. Yeah, I think I've got that fixed. Maybe. Well, it wouldn't be a live thing if we didn't have issues. So I'm just going to get a. All right. I'm going to get a walkthrough here. Okay. There, we've got it. Okay.
You got it.
As I said, it wouldn't be live if we didn't have an issue. So I'm going to give a walkthrough of the show and just kind of talk about things from my perspective. It was great to hear what Steffi had to say about the jurying and what she thought about the specific pieces that won awards. And so I'm just going to kind of give a general view of the show from my perspective here. So the thing that I really loved about not only the theme, but also what Steffi ended up choosing for the show is that it's so open to interpretation. You know, the word adrift, the kind of dual meaning that it has that we put out there in the prospectus, that only gives you, you know, an idea of what could potentially be submitted. And really, we had a great number of submissions, and the exhibition could have went a number of different ways. And I'm really thrilled with the way that it turned out. So I'll show you around the gallery here. And there are, you know, literal interpretations of the theme, and then there are more nuanced or, you know, less less straightforward interpretations of the theme as well. There's really great overlap between different pieces, which I always appreciate as a curator, to be able to pull different things together. And since this theme was so, you know, it had such a varied response from artists, it allowed for, you know, little vignettes of kind of almost sub-themes in the show as well. But as you can see so far, there is quite a range in media and style in the show. And rarely do I have an idea of how an exhibition is going to come together, visually in the show. But when I saw that these two pieces were selected by Lori Drake, and that they would go together that as well. And so if this is your first time tuning into a live event here, or your first time seeing Main Street Arts, we do have two different rooms that are connected by archways. So this is the smaller of the two rooms right now, and we'll pass through the arch to the second room there. But what happens is it creates different ways to view the exhibition. The more you go this way, you see different work. So that's one thing I love about our space here. And something else of a inside scoop here about setting the show up physically. This trio kind of came together fairly quickly within my process of laying out the show. The centerpiece by Catherine Brown, kind of represents what we find in the water. These are all things that get washed up on the shore from the water. And then we've got the aerial view of the shore, and then over here a different view of the beach itself, and then more things washed up from the shore. So, and I love these two boat pieces, Lynn Szymanski and Carrie Dayton. This one's almost it's a little harder to see because it's such a low contrast painting of this, boat out there adrift at night in probably a storm. And this show has a lot of great texture with the work as well, which really exemplified by a couple pieces here on the wall. Chelsea Bendix, and then over here, Noma Bliss. This one with some great shadow too, with these sticks.
I love how the shadows with that one become part of the work.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's almost, I have to kind of, because I could really make these even more intense with our lights here, but I don't want to take away from what the piece has naturally. So just to accentuate it. So, but yeah, it definitely has some great presence on the wall. And these have great shadows too in this Cowan Blackmore sculpture. The shadow really becomes part of that piece where it is now on this pedestal.
Absolutely.
And we had so this piece, Firmament, by Carolyn Enshack, came in 5 different boxes. She came and installed it herself. Just a nice, more insider information here. It was really cool to see this come together. All these separate pieces then become one. So that was really, really cool to see that. And also I was very grateful that she didn't ship it and have me install it. That was very, very nice of her. So that's a bit of the space here. And going back to our title wall here, this kind of, has a few different takes on the theme on this wall, and that was kind of what I was going for with selecting these pieces for the title wall here. So, and I'm not sure if we've had any questions at all out there, but if you have any, you can definitely ask them, and we'll answer them. All right, and I think I made that transition pretty seamlessly.
Well done.
Okay. All right, and great. Well, I'm just going to go and just double check and see if we've got any questions here. Great. Well, I think then, oh, there we are. Okay. We got some things populating now. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure. Make sure we're not missing anybody here. A lot of well wishes, which is great. Thank you. One question is, how long will the pieces be on display? So this exhibition runs through June 11th. And that also brings up a good point that I can tell you how to see this show. You can see the exhibition in person. You can see it online. If you want to come and see it in person, you can go on our website, make an appointment. We're open 11 to 3 on Tuesdays through Thursday, and then 11 to 6 on Friday and Saturday. You can also go see the show right now on your own time at interactive.mainstreetartscs.org. We have an interactive version of the show up where you can scroll through the exhibition, and it's almost like you're walking through the gallery. It's kind of like the next best thing. So you can scroll through, you can click on things to make them larger, and you can also view them in our online shop. Oh, and I think we have a comment from Lisa Kane. I did, in fact, I missed that. I missed your piece, and I'm so sorry. So we're gonna go look at that too. So I know I came over here when we were talking about Gina's work. So this piece here by Lisa Kane, Through the Woods and Back Again, makes a mixed media piece on canvas. And a trio of pieces by Ken Recker. These great watercolor paintings of icebergs. And let's see, if anyone else has any comments or questions, you can ask them now, and then otherwise we'll look forward to talking with you when you visit. So I guess I will thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Steffi, for your time and your expertise being our juror, and for your time today.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
All right. And again, mainstreetartscs.org. You can make an appointment or see the show virtually there. So thanks so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.